Welcome back. You're watching Morning Live. Thank you for tuning to stay with us now. Orlando Pirates will be hoping to get back to winning ways when they face arch rivals Kaizer Chiefs in the Soweto Derby at the F&B Stadium tomorrow. On the other hand, Chiefs will also be looking for a victory after a not so convincing start to the defence of their ABSA Premiership title.
No, that's fair.
And now Daniel the Bull Amokachi is among the most famous and successful soccer players from Africa in the past 25 years. Having won an Olympic gold medal, goal scorer in Soccer World Cup finals after finishing his soccer career, Amokachi was assistant coach for the Nigerian National Team for 7 years. We're now joined by him, or I should say the man himself, to share insights of his greatest moments as a player and as assistant coach of the Nigerian National Soccer Team. Sir, thank you very much for joining us. Such a pleasure to have you. You know, we don't often get, and we don't often celebrate the African greats. And when people talk about your playing career, if we look at your history, where you started from, I mean, a little team like Ranchers B, and then worked your way through Europe, played for some really impressive clubs. What do you attribute your success to? What was it about Daniel's upbringing that made that said you could the sky was the limit?
Yeah, well, it's first of all, it's my pleasure being here this morning. Though you guys woke me up at 5 a.m, but but it's good to be here. Coming out of West Africa and from the ghetto, everybody kind of loved to play football, and that's just what we keep doing on the street. Nobody want to go to school, but you have to go to school at the end run. But football is the number one, and coming up from a family that struggles to eat, have one square meal a day. And you have the opportunity to showcase what you have, then you just have to take it. And the talent was there, and the grace from heaven was there. And then at the age of 15 and a half, I was discovered to play for the team you mentioned, Ranchers Beast. And at the age of 16, I got my first call for the national team, the Super Eagles. So, it was a history from there.
In many ways, you're lucky because you were able to have a career as a footballer, one that wasn't mediocre, and then you were able to pass your playing days to then come back at probably the highest level and be the manager for the Nigerian national football team. Just that, being able to kind of come full circle, and now you're in South Africa, you're here for business, you're dealing. What does that say about your character and maybe the influence of your family, of friends, or even the fact that you maybe made the right decisions at the right time and there was a little bit of luck?
Yeah, definitely. I think luck plays a huge role. We always say that, and if you're a believer, definitely, it has been ordained from heaven for you to be, to be who you are, on earth. Like I did say, it's a rough path growing up, but at the same time, we were playing football for fun, and we end up finding out that we can make fame and fortune, out of the game that we just keep kicking on the street, and then we end up getting the fame, end up getting the fortune, and at the same time, you just have to keep your head straight because you know where you're coming from. You have family to look after, you have friends to look after, and you just keep going. And it's Africa. Whatsoever you do, the first day I went to Europe, I told myself if I stop playing, I'm coming back home. And that's just what I did, and by His grace, I'm still in the football business.
What does winning an Olympic medal do for a soccer star? I mean, there are the cups, there's the championships, but winning an Olympic medal takes you as a sportsman, as an athlete competing at the highest level to another level.
An Olympian, you can't get better than that. I'll just give you a quick story. It takes a Nigerian probably 6 or 1 year to get an American visa in Nigeria. Yeah. I went to an American consulate and applied for a visa. And then, of course, everybody recognized my face back home. And then they said, who is he? And they said, don't you know him? He's Daniel Amokachi, blah, blah. He's an Olympian. It's an Olympic gold medal. And yeah, and then the consulate, come. I got my visa in 2 hours.
There's some serious perks to being an Olympian.
No doubt about that. You being an Olympian, it's a different ball game. And then you being an Olympian gold medalist, it's a different ball game. That shows you the impact, and that's the respect that people, give you for being an Olympian, especially, in the modern world in Europe and in America.
We're currently showing visuals, I think, of you playing. What was your soccer style? I mean, you got to develop this name, the Bull, because you were quite stubborn on the ball.
No, I am stubborn. I like charging and taking passengers like the bull does. When you see a bull in the forest, you know how it is.
Yeah, you're gonna get knocked down.
Yeah, you can't. And so that's just the way I do. When I get my ball, it's very difficult to get it off me. And when you have it, I can just take it off easily. And the compactness of charging the team. I'm not the captain in the team, but I have a captain role because of the character. The character that I portray, on and off the pitch, and just keeps me going and keeps the team going.
We've run out of time, but I want to quickly talk about Daniel, the businessman, because you, about 4 months ago, you left the Nigerian football team as manager after Stephen Keshi resigned as well. What are you busy with now?
Right now I'm in South Africa. I've been here for 3 days, and StarSat, brought me in. They're trying to come strong in South Africa, after buying out, the former network. They're a network that are really promoting the leagues that, portray African players. They have the right of the Bundesliga, the Serie A, and the Ligue 1. And when you talk about the Ligue 1, I think it's a platform where 60 or 70% of African footballers come from there. We're talking about the great Abedi Pele, the great George Weah, who plays for Monaco, and now the young Ayus who established themselves very well and then find themselves end up in a different league. And then George Weah, of course, end up in Serie A, and then the first black player, an African player, to be a World African Footballer of the Year in that league. So that shows you that league is a league to reckon with.
League.
It's a league that people have to tune in to, and that you can only get that on StarSat.
For sure. So we've run out of time, but Daniel Amokachi in studio with us. He is, I don't want to say he's a Nigerian international footballer. He's an African international footballer and an Olympian, talking to us just about and reflecting on his life, but also this new arm of his where he's a businessman. He's in South Africa, and he's talking about just kind of what he's doing here over the next couple of days. We've eaten into our headline time. It's just gone 6:31. It's time now for your headline news.